Welcome to Punching Above Your Weight. This is a podcast that tells the story of people overcoming adversity to reach their goal. We're all told that losing weight is impossible. Well, join me as I learn from the people who have proved that theory wrong. I hope you enjoy. All right, welcome back to Punching Above Your Weight. We're up to episode 13, and today, or tonight, I should say, I have Gav Larkin from Newcastle over in the UK. Now, it is daytime for you there, mate, isn't it? It's about midday.
Yeah, lunchtime.
Yeah, lunchtime. Yep, nice. And I'm about 9 o'clock at night here in Australia. And so Gav has another amazing story. I think everyone will agree when you actually hear his journey, but it's another amazing story of what someone can achieve when you sort of get to that point and you get the right triggers and the right motivation to just put it all together. And so, Gav, how I normally like to start off is I like to get you to introduce yourself to the audience, and more than that, just some background about your journey into like becoming overweight. Like you as a kid, like when did you first battle weight issues, and just that real background so we can sort of understand where you got to with the peak of your weight.
Yeah, Gav, as you've already introduced me, I was always pudgy when I was a kid. Like even through senior school, I was like always one with a bit extra belly on me and stuff like that. Didn't have much confidence because of that as well. Like I hated doing swimming. I'd always look for excuses to get out to like physical exercise. It was always an easy sort of subject within school to avoid because I always felt like sort of embarrassed by my image and stuff. Things happened over the years, depression, anxiety, regards to like personal stuff that was going on.
Sorry, mate, what was that?
With regards to personal stuff that was going on in my life, a bit of a strange relationship with my parents and all that stuff. I'll not really get into that if that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine, mate. Yeah.
So back in 2013, I was 4 or 5 years into my relationship with me now wife. I was struggling to keep my job at the time due to my mental health. I got let go because I wasn't able to go to work. I got sacked basically on capability grounds due to my mental health. Weight spiraled from there. I slowly started doing less, not going many places. Well, before we moved into this house 4 years back, I'd not been out the house in over 2.5 years.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't go out the house because I knew I was so overweight and I didn't feel comfortable like going out. I felt like I was going to embarrass my kids, embarrass my partner, embarrass myself. Anxiety was really bad back then. Like a few times I had panic attacks. Even though I knew deep down what they were, I would go to A&E because I thought I was having a heart attack because of how overweight I was as well. I was putting 2 and 2 together and surmising 4 from it when it wasn't that. It was a really hard time. Then when it was about 4.5 years ago, I got kidney stones for about the 7 or 8 time because family history with them, so they're quite reoccurring. Plus, with bad diet and hydration and stuff like that as well, that accelerates the likelihood of you getting them.
Yeah.
So, although I was that used to having kidney stones, it was never an issue in the past. But this time when I went in, I found out I was 324 pounds. I had to be put on a bariatric bed.
Which I'll just translate that for our metric listeners, mates. That's 146 kilos, I think. 147 kg. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And your height, Gav, was?
5'2".
5'2", so around 156, 157 centimeters. Yeah, okay, yep. Sorry, mate, carry on. So you went in with kidney stones, yeah?
So like, it was like a few things that triggered it off from there for me to want to sort myself out. At first, I mean, because it's kidney stones has been a bloke, the area in which kidney stones are dealt with is normally an intimate issue of embarrassment for most blokes anyway. So
yeah.
the thing for me was that didn't bother us, so I didn't feel sort of I wasn't easily embarrassed. And then I was put on a bed for people that go for bariatric surgery, which was like, well, what the hell? Like, am I really that big? I'm not that big. I was questioning myself. Then when I come up from operation, they told us I stopped breathing under anaesthetic, and I had to stay in hospital for about a week later with the oxygen tube on to help me breathe because my oxygen level was low. Scared the living hell out of me. It was from that and having a high fever from infection. It was a sort of clicking point where I thought, what I'm doing isn't working. It isn't helping me or benefiting my family, the ones I care about. Like, how am I going to look after my son who has additional needs? He's going to be in mine and my wife's care for a very long time, like well into adulthood. What good am I going to be if I can't even pick myself up off the sofa to do anything?
Yeah,
And
right.
from there, sort of tumbled, like snowballed from there into, well, what I'm doing now.
Wow. So that's a real motivator for you, clearly. Like it was, yeah, like obviously, you know, the need to be there for your kids, particularly your son there. But, you know, obviously it was an awakening moment for you where you hadn't realized you'd gotten as big as you did. Yeah. Well, Gav, so mate, you've like your story, yeah, really, I guess really stands out to me. One of the first guys I interviewed, he, you know, like had sort of self-confidence issues with his weight, you know, going through school, and like similar sort of thing. Like he had gynecomastia, which is like where, you know, his breasts develop, which, you know, every man doesn't, you know, obviously want that. Yeah. And so like you can see why then that would sort of deter you from doing any sport. And it's like this vicious cycle. So you've sort of battled this anxiety for most of your life to a point where it's debilitating for you at one stage. And so, mate, like if you're cramped up in your house, which is, you know, really close to your kitchen and you can't exercise, it's kind of inevitable for a lot of people they could relate to through COVID, couldn't they? You know, where a lot of people have been in lockdown and gained weight. And you've been like, you were like that for 2.5 years. And it was kind of this point that you got to. Wow. Wow. Okay. So, mate, so you got to 324 pounds, about 147 kilos, and, you know, you went through this ordeal. What happened next?
I spoke to my GP, my doctor's surgery, and got over here to have a service through the NHS, which is like provided healthcare. And you get like a 12-week program with the local gym. So within that, you got a session in the gym for an hour, but there was also a circuit class once a week as well. Plus, there was a nutrition and wellbeing class. So it was like a sat down sort of theoretical thing. So you went through like basically getting educated on portion size, calories, what macros are, how they work, what TDEE is, everything you really need to know to keep going once that 12-week period was over. Best thing I ever did.
Wow. Okay, great. So this was actually just to I guess highlight, like how old are you now, Gav?
I'm 38.
38. So this all happened 4 years ago, you're saying? Yeah. So you're about 34 when you went in for this with your kidneys. Okay. So your current weight now, you were telling me earlier, was 204 pounds. Which again for the metrics is 92.5 kg. So you've essentially dropped, you know, over 100 pounds, 120 pounds, and kilogram wise, you've dropped a good 50, 55 kg in 4 years. Wow. And so, okay, so you started this program, started to learn, started to move. What was the trajectory of your weight loss like? Like, tell us about the first year.
Well, in the first 12 weeks, you're saying like it's a contract, like commitment. It's not a contract per se, but it's like a commitment from saying you'll do X, Y, and Z, and you'll try and lose X amount of weight in the 12 weeks. So the agreement was 5%. I smashed that. It was like 8 or 9%. I dropped weight wise by the time I finished the 12-week program. Within that, though, I developed a massive affinity for weight training. I love it. Like really enjoy it. Just so good, like for me mentally as well. Like just to, like especially having a kid with additional needs, things are a little bit more stressful when you're a parent, but a bit even more so amplified when you've got a kid with additional needs because there's appointments, sleep issues, a lot. So me going to the gym, it gives me that bit of control where things are a bit more chaotic in day-to-day life. So from there, it sort of went from the 12 weeks losing 5%, which was about, I think it was just about £12, 14 pounds, sorry. And then after that, I actually stayed on the course because it kept us out of the house. If anything, like I kept going to the meetups on the Tuesday, the Wednesday, and the Friday. The social aspect was good as well, having like people that were in the same boat as me. That helped a lot. Like, especially with if I wasn't having a good day, I could go into the group and stuff, and they'd hear about my progress and stuff, and it would give me another little kick up the butt. Like, I'm doing all right, yeah.
That's great, isn't it?
Oh, it was unreal. I'm still in touch with like the tutors that were on the course. I mean, one of them I went to school with, and then the other one I've become good friends with as well. Like, we're still staying in contact. I still check in every 6 months with them, even now.
Yeah, that's great.
And so after the 12 weeks, I kept it going to that gym. Then I went off on my own, and I lost another. Trying to work it out, stones to pounds, yeah. Another 28 pounds within that year. So I dropped I went from the 324 pounds down to, I can't work out, give pounds in stones, yeah, sorry.
You're right, just do whatever you need to, mate, pounds.
So the 324 pounds was 23.5 stone. Then I dropped down to 18.5 stone just on sorting a bit food out here and there when I was still recovering from kidney stones because I had a stent put in as well. So it made training difficult at first. So I waited till all that was done. Then I joined the course. I joined that course. Then I got down another 24 pounds. Yeah, that's right. I got down another 24 pounds. So by the time I left the course, like left the gym as well, that was it would have been the August following. So that would have been 2018. I left that gym and sort of went on my own. I was down to 16.5 stone.
16.5 stone. Okay.
That was like it. So the big bulk of it was in the first year. And then it sort of slowed down as times went on. But I think that's more. I've been fine with that because I think I've made it more sustainable.
Well, mate, also doing the weight training. Have you ever had body composition analysis? Because I mean, so has that shown like massive change in body comp? Even though the number on the scale may not be moving as much.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things they do on the course as well. They use a body scan machine. It's what the name of it actually.
In-body?
It's actually body scan. In-body, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Done one of them at the beginning, the middle of the course, and then at the end. Then I get it every 6 months. Well, I was up until COVID kicked off to monitor my progression because it got to the point for me where it wasn't coming down as fast, but I was retaining a lot of muscle that I had.
Yeah.
So that was the focus for me then, because it was the case of like, don't like, obviously, yes, you want to lose weight, but mainly fat, but focus on what your body's doing that you can't see, like you're retaining muscle and the fat percentage is coming down. Like one of the big key figures for me on the in-body is, I'm guessing you've seen how the scan report comes out.
Yeah.
So where it tells you about the visceral fat, that dropped massively for me.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
For me.
Mate, that's fantastic, isn't it? If a lot of the information in these podcasts are resonating with you, you can learn more by grabbing a copy of The Tweaking Diet. This is available at Amazon and at scood.com.au. Thanks. And so you've dropped, so the bulk of it in the first 12 months, and then it's just steadily been coming down, or now, like I think you said it was even still coming down now, but the composition would just be shifting drastically now with the amount of training. How much training are you doing now at the gym? Like how often do you go
there? 6 days a week now.
Wow.
I do push-pull legs, but I do like a sort of heavy light rotation. So I'll do like a heavy push day, light pull, heavy legs, light push, heavy pull, light legs.
Wow.
And I hit me 10K steps every day as well when possible.
Gav, can you fathom, like, 4.5 years ago, you were kind of housebound, and now you're at the gym 6 days a week? Like, so thinking back, okay, so when you were housebound, what was the toughest thing of your day then? Like being at 324 pounds, can you give us an insight into a day of what it looked like for you back then?
I would wake up and I would have a bottle of fizzy soda right next to it straight away. Wouldn't be a
Yeah,
glass of it; it would be a full bottle to go through the full day. That
yeah,
would be gone within half a day, guaranteed. Um, I would then try and help with housework and stuff, but my back pain would kick in. I wouldn't be able to do much. I mean, it was even at the point I would stand and wash dishes and it would hurt. I
yeah,
couldn't even
right.
stand upright. It was horrible. Um, my wife, credit to her, she was and is unreal through like support wise for all of this. I mean, she carried a lot through that time with our relationship and the kids and the house. I
Wow.
didn't do much at all. I wasn't a very active parent either. Like if she was going to the park and stuff, I would go. I would say I'll go, but I'll have to get the bus there or a taxi there. I would never walk because I knew it would hurt.
Yeah,
I would never
right.
push past the pain a little bit at all. I would always get anxious about it and would make it worse, and then I would end up getting shouty and a bit of a idiot with her,
Yeah, yeah.
and not be very nice because I'd just lash out because I was so frustrated by my own health at the time.
Wow. Yeah. And so I mean, she must be an amazing woman for a start. Like she's
Puts up
come
with a
through
lot.
that. Yeah. But so what's her take on everything now? Like just you've both got a new lease on life, I'd imagine.
Yeah, she's absolutely gobsmacked still how the progress in which I've made. Like she's massively proud of it. The fact that I've done it off my own back to an extent as well. Like, yeah, I
Yeah.
got support in the first 12 weeks, but I could have gave in after that 12 weeks and I didn't. I kept
Yeah.
going and I'm still going. I mean, I'm almost a qualified personal trainer now as well. Like,
Wow.
developed a massive passion of mine. Like, I want to help other dads that have been in my situation know that they're not alone. And I know I've got that empathy and skill there to help them as well.
Well, you've got lived experience, mate. Like you've
I do.
been there. Um, and it's interesting, like I talk a lot around motivation because like it's something that we try and tap into all the time. And
Yeah.
as a health professional, we try and motivate people towards positive things. But to be honest, from experience, most of the time that motivates someone is actually moving away from pain. Like you've got that painful experience that you went through at the hospital and your health and all that hanging over you, and then that is a pretty big motivator.
Yeah.
Where you've done that, but now you're moving towards pleasure. Like, and it's the things that keep you going like that. Now that you're almost a personal trainer again. If you'd whispered in your ear 4.5 years ago, "Oh, Gav, you're going to be a personal trainer in 4 years," would you have believed it?
No, no.
Wow.
Without a second thought, no. Like, because if it was 4.5 years ago and someone had said you're going to possibly be a PT in the next 4 or 5 years, I would have probably swore at them, to be honest.
Yeah.
Told them where to go. For the reason being, like, I would be like, "Do you know me? Do you know me from school? The person that never done PE, hated
Yeah.
it. Like, it wasn't me. You know what I mean? It was like me up until that point where that bad thing happened. It was never on the radar at all.
Yeah. Mate, what's your doctor say?
They're quite astounded the fact like it's all been natural as well as being like no stupid shortcuts, anything like that. It's all been me and my willpower to just be better for myself, really, and the kids.
Yeah. Mate, that's fantastic. So what's your day look like now? Like,
Um, Chaotic still with the kids, but I mean, obviously with lockdown and stuff, it's made it a bit tricky and stuff. Um, I'm at home carer with my partner for Caleb, my son. So I have a big gap of the day where I'm free. So hence why I've been able to do this today, thankfully. But so I have like from 9 till 3 where I go for a walk, get the gym, sort my food out now for the next day, etc. And then do my PT coursework, which I've smashed through. I've just got the practicals to do. Um, in hopefully once I get that up and running, I can sort of get back into a working lifestyle, but in something I'm absolutely passionate about, which is going to be awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic, mate. That is fantastic. Well, Gav, so basically, the approach you took was, ramped up exercise, found a passion for it. I love how you said that you found a social connection there, because there's a number of the people that we've interviewed. It's the same sort of thing. It's like they just found the right gym, because it can be intimidating, can't it? Well, the perception is going to a gym. It's like, I'm going to walk in there and there's just going to be muscle heads looking in the mirror. But if the experience that most people have is completely different, and you've found that, which is fortunate as well. And then you learn all about the food, so you learn about the calories. Like, what's your diet look like at the moment?
Well, at the minute, I'm following an intermittent fasting protocol. I'm not a fan of the word diet, to be fair. Generally calorie deficit, but I'm being a case study for a friend who's a personal trainer. So I'm intermittent fasting at the minute, but I'm still getting quality calories. I mean, my eating's actually improved being on this, but it's nothing I'm going to sustain long term.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's more flexible eating, if anything. I still have cake, I still have pizza. I know it in moderation, and I don't fret about it, because I know I do everything I need to do.
Mate, I love the word freedom there. Like, to me, educating someone about food gives them freedom of choice.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you realize, like, there's no guilt. You know that, well, I can have that bit of pizza and it's not the end of the world. But I know that most of the time I still eat just nice, healthy, wholesome foods.
Yeah.
So that's great. Okay, mate, if you could have 3 tips for anyone, well, even for, Gav Larkin 4.5 years ago, what would be the 3 pearls of wisdom you'd pass on?
Sounds cliche, but be patient. Like, don't think you've only just lost a pound, or you've only just lost 2 pounds, because it's not just a pound or 2 pounds. It's still a massive amount. Like, when I first started, I had that on my head as well. It was like, oh, well, I want to lose this much this quick. It doesn't happen that quick. And I understand that now, because if you think about it, though, like, it wasn't a quick process to get to that weight. So how is it going to be even quicker to lose it?
That's right. Yeah. Yes. I interviewed a lady by the name of Mary Brennan, who'd written a book called "I'm Lazy and I Love to Eat," and she saw some marketing thing about lose X amount of weight in so many days. Like, it was a pretty drastic thing. She goes, the only way I can do that is with a chainsaw. Like, you just can't lose it that fast.
Yeah, that was one of the things said in the training as well. Like, anyone can lose weight. It's body fat that you need to focus on. And I think once you get your head around that as well, especially when you start out, it's so easy to be that more patient in what you're doing. Second one would be finding something you like to do. It doesn't have to be lifting weights. It could be running. It could be rowing or walking. As long as you enjoy doing what you're doing, that's a massive plus.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. Yeah.
Last one would probably be something to do with just still enjoy food, man.
Yeah.
Food's lovely. It's so freely available as well. Just enjoy it. Just be mindful of what you're enjoying.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's one of life's great pleasures, and you can get the healthy food to taste good as well. It's just, unfortunately, we're losing that from generation to generation now. Like, there's a lot of the cooking skills are losing, and the flavors and how to flavor healthy food. But, mate, that was great. I will just emphasize that approach you were saying about, be patient. Like, I talk to my clients a lot about and I'm not even talking so much about the weight loss. I'm talking about the mental approach. If you've got a sprint mentality to weight loss pretty much thinks that you've just got to run a quick race and then you can stop. And that's not how it works. Whereas a marathon mentality, and it's really a marathon, it's a race that never ends, isn't it? Like, it's something that you've always got to be on. But if you've got that mental approach, now that doesn't mean you can't get, fast-ish results, but you've still got to have that mentality that it's a long game that you're playing. It's not something that's going to finish. There's no finish line.
Yeah, it's having other marks of progression as well, not just weight loss. Like, if you're doing strength training, look at the weight you're lifting. That's probably changing as well. Look how far you're running. That's probably changing. How quick you're doing it as well. Like, that is probably one of the good times. Speed is a benefit with running, but, like, look at other things like that. Like, your measurements, like non-scale victories, they're a massive part of helping you with your progression, especially in the first year or so.
Yeah, mate, it's all progress, isn't it? And
Absolutely.
lack of progress actually feeds into anxiety and depression. It's we as humans are born to evolve. We've just evolved, and if we feel like we're just going nowhere, it's not good for us here. So just that little wins every day. Gav, mate, it's been great talking to you. Fantastic effort. Congratulations. I'd love to follow your journey through personal training. If you get yourself a social media page and tag me, mate, I'll happily follow along. I've loved the story. It's been great.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Gav. Thanks for listening. I hope you learned something from this podcast. Please subscribe. And if you have your own story to tell, please email us at hello@scood.co. Thanks.